Death Thirst for Love is Juice's second studio album that released in early 2019. This album definitely changed Juice's music because it gave us a new style and a new feel of how his music was going to be from now on. Basically what I mean by that is just Goodbye and Good Riddance had one kind of style or like kind of vibe to it. It was more just a heartbreak or like a goodbye kind of letter album, and obviously we know that from the name. I mean, that album's been out for a long time now, so everyone's been able to dissect it. We all know that that's just like sad, heartbroken Juice. Not saying all those songs are, because there's songs on that album like Candles and stuff, but moving on to Death Thirst for Love, it definitely changed a lot. We get to hear a whole new side of Juice when he's not heartbroken and what he feels like when he is in love or when he's experiencing and feeling other things. I remember right when this album dropped, like maybe a week or two after, a lot of people didn't really like it, including myself. I wasn't a big fan of it like at the beginning, but the album definitely grew on me. And I don't even know if it's that the album grew on me, I just wasn't ready to hear that kind of sound from Juice yet, or I wasn't expecting it. But I remember a lot of people saying stuff like they wanted Juice to get heartbroken again or get out of his relationship so he can make good music again. I honestly remember a pretty big thing about that going on, about people wanting Juice to be sad again and so he can make good music again. Looking back at it, I think that was one of the dumbest statements people could have made at the time, but obviously at the time that's probably just how a majority of people felt. I'm not saying there wasn't people that didn't like this album right off the bat, because I know there was, but I would say at least now everyone appreciates this album even more. And I don't even think that has anything to do with Juice passing away. I think even way before Juice passed away, people started liking this album more and finding songs off of it that were really good. But anyways, to hop into the main topic of this video, we're going to be looking at the history of Death Thirst for Love. So just to start with, I'm going to bring up an interview that I've talked about in a couple other Death Thirst for Love videos, kind of where Juice just talks about an original track list for this album.
How long did it take to make?
Honestly, 3-4 days. And then we're like, wait a minute. Let's go back and listen to some of the shit that I made before. Because originally, the whole album list was whole new songs. There was no old songs that I made prior. I made all new songs for like 3 or 4 days. And that was going to be the album. And I'm like, nah, fuck that, B. We got to go listen to all the other shit and see, like, you know, because there's some good shit in there, so.
Now, we know for sure the original tracklist to Death Thirst for Love did not have Robbery on it. I'm not too sure exactly what songs were older, like leaked or just older vaulted songs on Death Thirst for Love, and then which ones were brand new freestyles. I know the song Feeling is a new song that Juice made for the album, but if you guys know the like quote or the thing Juice said, how he talked about how every song on the album was a freestyle, that is probably true. Every song was. And I know he said that the album got done in like 3 or 4 days, and even in that clip, I mean, maybe like every song did, or maybe like actually structuring and laying out the album only took 3 to 4 days. But some of these songs are way older than the others, like the ones that he had just made. Like I said, they ended up adding Robbery and stuff onto the album. Now, maybe when Juice made that claim, it was because the album was all new music. Because like Juice says in that interview, the album had a whole new track list. It was like all freestyled songs, so probably stuff like Feeling was still on there, but they were all brand new songs made for that album, and then he decided to go back in the vault and pick a few more and kind of swap them out. And I know for sure he did that with Robbery, because that song either leaked or was recorded in 2018. I know that for sure. So it's just kind of weird to think about that we could have had a completely different Death Thirst for Love than what we do have. Something else I do want to throw in here, if you guys haven't seen one of my videos I made a couple of weeks ago, it was about the Lost in the Abyss album. That was also supposed to be, or at least rumored to be, the second Juice album, so that wasn't even going to be what Death Thirst for Love was. I'm not going to dive really into that at all, I just wanted to bring it up, but I have an entire video talking about that if you guys are interested. Before this album, we had never really heard something like Syphilis from Juice, or anything like He Motions or Feeling. It was all just kind of sadder stuff besides what was on SoundCloud. I honestly think this album was the most important one that Juice dropped while he was still alive, and I know he only dropped 2 albums while he was here, but even if you look at the catalog he has now and like everything that's out now with Legends Never Die and the songs that they put out since he's passed, I think that Death Thirst for Love shows the biggest change in Juice's music, the most growth in his music, and I think it really just kind of shows like that is what got him where he is now. He's been very open that the feeling from that album was because of him being in love with Allie, and we've known that for a long time now. I've talked about that in some of my older Death Thirst for Love videos, and this album really helped him grow, I feel like, into just his own artist and a new sound. I don't honestly know any artist besides Juice that has as many unique and different sounds as him. There's obviously the classic Heartbroken stuff. We have the old songs like Lucid Dreams, and I'm not necessarily old songs, just older from Juice that's been released now. I mean, that song did release in like 2017, but then we also have stuff like Feeling, Carry It. There's just tons of different vibes of Juice music, and it was so diverse. I don't think any other artist has a catalog like that. Going into something else, I do want to talk about the Death or So Love Deluxe that we never got. Now, I know I've talked about this. I have a whole video dedicated to this as well. If you guys are interested, you can check that out as well. But I do want to kind of just rephrase it or just bring a couple key points into this video since we are talking about the history of Death or So Love. Now, I made that video a couple months ago, but something almost everyone or just a lot of people did let me know were some of the songs that were like confirmed or like people knew were going to be on the deluxe. When I made that video, I really didn't know any, but now that video's been out for a while and a lot of people have talked to me and kind of explained some stuff to me, and I've done more looking into stuff. Yeah, it does seem like that this was definitely a track list that was going to be coming for the deluxe. So just to kind of recap just a little bit, Nick Mira said something about deluxe coming out, and so did Juice. So with Nick Mira saying something about it, we knew that there'd be a Nick Mira produced song on the album or on the deluxe, and that kind of gets us into what the track list was going to be. If you guys don't remember, and like I think it was like summer or fall of 2019, before Juice passed, he dropped Run on SoundCloud only. Now, this was supposed to be, like, supposedly, it was supposed to be a song on the Death or So Love Deluxe, but there was issues with the beat or something, and Juice ended up uploading it on YouTube and posting it on SoundCloud, and then it got deleted off YouTube, but it's still on his official SoundCloud to this day. Another song which is pretty obvious, or it should have been obvious to me, that was going to be on the Death or So Love Deluxe was Roadrunners. Juice used this to kind of preview or hype up the album, and he even made like a post with like a CDQ of the song. I mean, it later ended up leaking way after he passed, but this song was supposed to be on there. And then there was Death Race. I've always wondered why this song wasn't even put on the album in the first place. I mean, Death or So Love, maybe there was something with it, and I'm pretty sure the song does have an open verse, so I don't know if Juice would have added another verse on or looked for a feature or what would have happened. Maybe it just didn't fit the style he wanted, but it's just kind of always been weird to me that this didn't end up on the album. Then lastly, we have Bandit. Now, something about all these songs that I do want to say is I think at least at one point or another, these were on the original track list for Death or So Love, and then maybe when Juice talked about how they went back and re-listened to older stuff and swapped some songs out like Robbery, maybe that ended up replacing some of these songs, but Juice still had the idea to drop them on the Death or So Love Deluxe. That's just a theory. I could be completely wrong with that, but it's just something I've kind of thought of. But yeah, Bandit was produced by Nick Mira, or Nick Mira worked on that song, so that's probably one of the songs Nick was referring to, because he says something about that in his Genius, that he thought it was going to drop on Death or So Love or something, and then it ended up dropping way after, because, I mean, Juice dropped that in like October or September. But anyways, moving on past that, that's basically Death or So Love. This album, in my opinion, just showcases the growth of Juice in his career and his music. I don't think his music would be anywhere where it is now if we never had this album or we were never opened up to this side of Juice. So yeah, while I still rank Goodbye and Good Riddance above Death or So Love, I think that this album was more important in Juice's career. But anyways, that's all for this video, guys. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. We just hit like 8.1 thousand subscribers, which is insane. It only took like a week to do that, so thank you guys so much for the support. That was my goal by the end of 2020, and yeah, just thank you guys for the support. If you're new here, please subscribe. Also, guys, I have an Instagram, that's Complex Productions 999. Link to that's in the description down below. You can go follow me over there if you want. I also have a Twitter at Complex Discuss and a SoundCloud where I repost your guys' music. I make a new list every month of stuff that I'm liking. I almost have 100 followers over there, so just go check all my social medias out. Link to everything's in the description down below. And as always, all the sources to everything I use are in the description down below as well. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.